Skull Nation, grab your horns and hold them high, because what I'm about to tell you will shake the very foundations of TCO Performance Center. 3 earth-shattering developments are rocking our beloved purple and gold franchise right now, and trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. Picture this: a former draft pick fighting for his NFL life, a beloved legend caught in the crosshairs of trade rumors that could break every Vikings fan's heart, and fresh blood being injected into our secondary as we speak. The drama unfolding in Egan right now reads like a Hollywood script, and every single chapter could determine our fate for the 2025 season. Right now, as you're reading this, there's a 3rd round investment from 2022 whose time might be running out faster than a Hail Mary in the 4th quarter. His position coach is literally gushing over a rookie who's already stealing his snaps. Can you imagine the pressure? Can you feel the tension brewing in that locker room? But wait, there's more. A Vikings legend, and I mean a true Minnesota hero who bled purple for years, is suddenly finding his name whispered in trade circles. At 34 years old, this warrior is still producing, but the franchise that took a chance on him might be ready to cash in. The betrayal, the heartbreak. Now, how could they even consider it? And if that wasn't enough to get your blood pumping, our front office is actively hunting for reinforcements. 3 defensive backs just walked through our doors for tryouts, and one of them carries championship DNA from Kansas City. Championship DNA, Skull Nation. Are we witnessing the beginning of something special, or are these just desperate moves? Smash that like button if you're ready to ride this emotional roller coaster with your Vikings family. Drop a comment telling me which story has you most fired up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This is Vikings Nation content at its finest. The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting, and the decisions being made right now in Minnesota will echo through the entire 2025 season. But first, let me blow your mind with the story of a linebacker whose Vikings career might be over before it ever truly began. Skull Nation, meet Brian Asamoa, the linebacker whose Vikings dreams are crashing down like a failed 4th down conversion. This is the story that's going to make you question everything about our 2022 draft class. Remember when we used that precious 66th overall pick on this Oklahoma speedster? They sold us a dream, Skull Nation. They told us he was the future, a modern-day linebacker built like a safety who would revolutionize our defense with his speed and coverage skills. We bought into the hype. We believed, but here's the brutal reality that's unfolding at TCO Performance Center. Brian Asamoa is running out of time, and it's happening fast. 3 years into his NFL career, and what do we have to show for it? 30 tackles and 2 forced fumbles across 46 games. That's not the production of a 3rd round pick. That's the stat line of a special teams contributor. The writing was on the wall when Brian Flores arrived and immediately demoted our sophomore linebacker, Ivan Pace Jr. And Jordan Hicks became the new dynamic duo, and Asamoa found himself watching from the sidelines. Then Blake Cashman took over, and suddenly our 2022 investment became an afterthought. But here's where it gets absolutely devastating for Asamoa. We drafted Kobe Kinkwo from Penn State this year, and this rookie is already taking snaps with the 2nd team defense. Can you imagine the humiliation? A day 3 draft pick is already ahead of a former 3rd rounder. Listen to what linebackers Coach Mike Saravo said about King, just how physical he was as a tackler. Like he's an old school Penn State linebacker. He hits violent. He brings his hips. It's painful to watch him tackle. That's the kind of praise Asamoa never received in 3 years. And Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, he's practically salivating over this rookie. He called King a future starter and praised his meat and potatoes approach to the position. Meanwhile, Asamoa is 25 years old and fighting for his NFL life. The harsh reality is that teams typically keep 4 inside linebackers. And right now, Pace Jr., Cashman, Eric Wilson, and potentially King are ahead of him on the depth chart. His only value is on special teams, and there are other aces like Tim Jones and Tavier Thomas who can fill that role. Skull Nation, we're potentially witnessing the end of the Brian Asamoa era in Minnesota, and it's a sobering reminder that NFL dreams can crumble faster than you can say purple people eaters. But hold on to your helmets, because the next story involves a Vikings legend whose name is being thrown around in trade discussions that could absolutely shatter your heart. Skull Nation, prepare yourself for a gut punch that's going to test your loyalty and break your heart. Our beloved hometown hero, the man who embodied everything we love about Vikings football, is now caught in the crosshairs of NFL trade speculation. We're talking about Adam Thielen, the Detroit Lakes miracle who went from undrafted free agent to Vikings legend. The man who caught passes from Kirk Cousins, who celebrated touchdowns at US Bank Stadium, who represented everything pure about Minnesota football. And now the Carolina Panthers might be ready to ship him out like yesterday's newspaper. This is personal, Skull Nation. Thielen didn't just play for us, he was us. He represented every small town Minnesota kid who dared to dream big. He showed the world what purple pride looks like, and seeing his name on trade lists feels like watching your childhood hero get disrespected. Here's what's happening in Charlotte that has my blood absolutely boiling. Pro Football Focus just named Thielen as one of 15 NFL trade candidates during training camps. They're treating our legend like he's some expendable commodity. At 34 years old, this warrior is still producing. He posted a 76.5 PFF receiving grade with 2.06 yards per route run. He's still getting separation at an elite level, but the Panthers are looking at their receiver room and seeing a logjam. They've got young talent pushing for meaningful roles, and apparently loyalty means nothing in today's NFL. They're talking about trading away a proven veteran who's produced consistently just to save some cap space and open snaps for unproven rookies. The disrespect is unreal. This is a man who will turn 35 on August 22nd, and instead of celebrating his longevity and dedication, they're calculating his trade value like he's a stock option. They could recoup $8,176 in cap space by moving him, and apparently that matters more than championship experience and leadership. And here's what makes this even more heartbreaking for us in Skull Nation. Thielen has been working out with our rookie quarterback, McCarthy. He's still connected to Minnesota. He still bleeds purple. He's impressed by what he sees in our young signal caller, and yet there's almost no chance we bring him home. Why? Because Justin Jefferson is our WR1, and behind him, we've got Jordan Addison, Jalen Naylor, Rondell Moore, and Ty Felton all fighting for snaps. There's no room for sentiment in Kevin O'Connell's receiver room, even for a legend like Thielen. If and when this trade happens, he'll probably end up with a contender. Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, or Baltimore would love to have his experience and clutch gene for a Super Bowl run. Meanwhile, we'll be left with memories and highlights of what could have been. Skull Nation, seeing Adam Thielen's name in trade rumors feels like watching your favorite uncle get kicked out of the family reunion. It's wrong, it's heartless, and it's exactly the kind of business decision that makes you hate the modern NFL. But buckle up, because our final story involves Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adofo-Mensah actively hunting for talent that could change everything about our secondary. Skull Nation, or while you've been processing the emotional roller coaster of Brian Asamoah's potential departure and Adam Thielen's trade rumors, our front office has been working. Kevin O'Connell and his staff aren't just sitting around hoping for the best, they're actively hunting for talent that could transform our entire secondary. This past Saturday, while JJ McCarthy was dazzling fans at his first training camp practice since that devastating meniscus injury, 3 defensive backs walked through the doors of TCO Performance Center for workouts, and one of these names should have every Vikings fan absolutely electric with possibility. The 3 candidates were Trey Dean, Javarius Owens, and Jason Taylor. And before you dismiss them as just another group of tryout players, let me tell you why Trey Dean should have your complete attention. This 25-year-old safety from the University of Florida carries something that money can't buy: championship DNA. While he went undrafted in 2023, Dean has already collected a Super Bowl championship with the Kansas City Chiefs and a UFL title with the DC Defenders. This man knows what it takes to win at the highest level. Think about it, SKL Nation. While we've been searching for that missing piece in our secondary, this warrior has been grinding through the NFL system, collecting championships and proving himself at every level. In the UFL playoffs alone, he logged 10 tackles, 1 interception, and a tackle for loss across just 2 games. Those are impact numbers, and the timing absolutely perfect. Joshua Metellus just got his contract extension on Saturday, but he didn't practice. Neither did Isaiah Rodgers or Harrison Smith. Whether it's veteran rest days or minor injuries, our coaching staff clearly saw an opportunity to evaluate some fresh talent. This is how championship teams operate, Skull Nation. They never stop looking for upgrades. They never get comfortable. While other franchises are content with their rosters, Kevin O'Connell is out here hosting workouts and searching for that diamond in the rough who could be the difference between a playoff exit and a Super Bowl run. Can you imagine the story if Trey Dean makes his roster? An undrafted free agent who bounced around the league, collected championships with other teams, and finally found his home in Minnesota. It's the kind of underdog story that defines Vikings football. And here's what makes this even more exciting. Dean brings versatility and championship experience to a secondary that's already loaded with talent. Harrison Smith is aging gracefully, but he won't play forever. Metellus just got paid, which means they believe in the position group, but depth is crucial in today's NFL. The fact that we're actively working out defensive backs while other storylines dominate the headlines shows you the level of detail and preparation that goes into building a championship roster. This isn't just about finding bodies. This is about finding fighters who understand what it takes to win. Skull Nation, as we wrap up this incredible journey through 3 game-changing stories, I need you to understand what we're witnessing. This is roster construction at the highest level. Difficult decisions about veteran players, emotional farewells to beloved legends, and the relentless pursuit of championship caliber talent. The Brian Asamoa situation reminds us that NFL careers can end quickly if you don't produce. The Adam Thielen trade rumors show us that loyalty is a luxury most teams can't afford. And the Trey Dean workout proves that our front office never stops hunting for ways to improve. Smash that like button if this Vikings content fired you up. Drop a comment telling me which of these 3 stories shocked you the most. And subscribe to stay connected with the most passionate Vikings coverage in the galaxy. SKL Nation, we're building something special in Minnesota. And every single decision being made right now, from releasing disappointing draft picks to potentially acquiring championship-proven veterans, is pushing us closer to that elusive Super Bowl trophy. The question that will haunt us all season long: which of these moves will we look back on as the moment everything changed? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain. This is the most exciting time to be a member of Skull Nation in years. Skull Vikings, purple and gold forever.